There's a lot of lies going on. We've been lied to about a lot of from very young. This is why they teach you this bullshit when you're a child. They teach you all these lies when you're a child.
The size of a town today was the size of the world population in the year that they're telling us that they knocked out a palace that lasts forever. Now, we all know that this was constructed by a very powerful, very intelligent civilization, and the population worldwide definitely took a massive hit at some point before the 1700s, where humans, I believe, repopulate back to billions of people relatively fast. I think the real population chart looks much different than what we're shown. I think that there are many times that the population worldwide is in the billions. Based on what they're telling us, you can look at this chart for yourself, showing that basically nobody was even here in the 1200s, according to the mainstream narrative. This shows that nobody could build massive palaces with no power tools, zero equipment, no training processes. The 25 people that lived in Budapest, their only edge against our civilization today was having a little better work ethic. And that's not working anymore. These charts are nonsense. They show how fast humans truly do recreate to the population that we're at today, which is why they are able to reset the population so often, in my opinion, using the same ridiculous narratives over and over for the exact same buildings.
And so then they'll go back and reset time and take us back to the dark age and hide the technology. And they'll make and replay the whole shit over again. They will make man discover electricity again. They will make man discover phones again. All this shit, they'll just do it all over again like they doing something new to make that next generation get harvested too, to think that we ain't done this before.
Using the same technology that was here before and just pretending like it's all brand new. Where this place that we live is much different than we're being told.
And so they'll reset at the end of every age once we see what's going on, and then they'll destroy all the technology, but they still got them souls though.
Everything is given back to us. Everything is one big cycle. Everything. The years go from January to December. Every year. Seasons, days, technology, and civilizations. Everything is one big cycle. Everything.
So every time they reach the height of technology, these civilizations just disappear.
And I wouldn't be shocked at all if we do too. I wonder if they know this. This all feels like some sort of treasure hunt, like some sort of game. To see who can find this information, where we have all heard the saying that they have to tell us like it's a rule, where I'm starting to think it's not that they have to tell us, it's that they want to tell us.
Bro. It's nonsense.
It's not that they have to tell us, it's that they want to tell us, like it's fun to them, to see who can crack the code, that nearly everything in our so-called reality is complete nonsense. And our true reality is much deeper than what we're told.
Damn, that was intense.
Do your own research, people.
And then we're in space for the title scene. I love that. It's beautiful. Like, that's not the Earth, right? The Earth is round, just so y'all know. I'm tired of all the flat earthers out here, bro. I'm tired of all the flat earthers. It's not possible for the Earth to be flat. It's literally not. Everything in science contradicts it.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
A logical fallacy is an error in reasoning. It occurs when an argument's form is flawed. He categorized them into two types. Those depending on language, arguments failing at the level of grammar, and those not depending on language, arguments failing at the level of logic. If an argument is fallacious, it is wrong, illogical, and invalid. Sophistry is the art of using flawed arguments to deceive. Whether intentional or not, people often resort to fallacious reasoning when defending various propositions. Without a firm grasp of formal logic and an awareness of common logical fallacies, as taught in the trivium, it's easy to be misled. The appeal to authority fallacy. This fallacy occurs when an argument is accepted as true based solely on the authority or reputation of the person making the claim, rather than on the strength of the evidence presented. For example, a globe earther might claim that the Earth is a sphere simply because renowned scientists like Einstein or Newton have supported similar concepts. This appeal to authority assumes the claim is true based on the reputation of these figures, without providing additional evidence or addressing the empirical data supporting the level Earth.
And get this theater was supposedly fireproof. 1 month after being opened, it burns down. This is incredible. And we have seen this exact story before from our St. Louis episodes, when they say that the fire started due to lighting the curtain on fire. So this curtain starts on fire, and the fire exits were locked or hidden, which sounds like a planned opinion. Even if this wasn't an event, let's think logically here. In 1871, during the Chicago fire, when 17,500 stone and brick buildings were magically burned to the ground, even though we know that stone and brick does not burn to the ground from house fires, which is why you have stone and brick fireplaces inside your living room. And everyone all over the world remains extremely calm, and your neighbors don't seem to mind either. It doesn't and never will spread to their house or to the basement. It won't make your house look like a bomb went off. And I guess I should say don't try this at home. But come on, you get the point.
What?
Nearly every single one of these great fires happened in the 1800s, right after the 1776 date, which was when the USA began. The main great fire that predates the 1776 date falls on 1/6, which is the London Great Fire, which is where the USA originally came from. And I'm guessing, based on all of my research, that this date of 1/6 is a code and not a real event. Because I'm about to take this thing to a whole nother level from this point until the end of the episode. And now that we have looked into this, compared it to other situations, shown factual evidence that they are lying, in all of this, I want to give my opinion on what happened. I think that the population worldwide was basically zero in the early 1800s. The previous civilization's population around the world before 1776, I would say 100 years prior to 1776, based on the condition that these buildings were in. It would put it at around 100 years, realistically. It couldn't have been thousands of years. These buildings would have just been a mess, just from the nature growing all over it and inside. But I believe the worldwide population in what we call the 15 or 1600s was massive. I believe that the technology was much more advanced than what we have today.
That's why history repeats itself every 7,000 years, because it takes them 7,000 years to act out the biblical script, and then they have a reset where they depopulate the earth and they start it back to Genesis again. The world is a stage, and the script that they acting out is the Bible. That's why the president put his hand on that Bible.
The people of the West are starting to tear down their own false idols and the whole quasi-religious secular worship of the rich. And once you realize that your country, your so-called civilization, once you realize that it is primitive and savage and cynical, you start to realize that you never stopped being serfs in the West, and they never stopped being feudal lords and feudal masters in the West. And the whole narrative that you grew up believing is just a tapestry of lies. It's a sack that they put over your head so that you could never see what's really going on.
Everything is fake, bro. Why you think they created Photoshop? To manipulate. Most folk probably never heard of Photoshop, but if you have, it's to manipulate. Everything is to manipulate. This is the world where they turn everything that's artificial, official.
It is incredible when you know what to look for. So it's time to go to the east coast of the USA, Buffalo, New York, where we will find the Dennis Building, and yet another building that holds multiple names. The Dennis Building, the Glenny Store or Crockery Store, the Glenny Building, and the Stanton Building, and yet another building that, of course, holds a fire story in 1905. And not only that, but we also get the reoccurring names. Yes, it is possible for him and his sons to have the exact same name. But when we have seen this in so many narratives about these old world buildings, where both brothers marry somebody named Alice, and their mom is also Alice, and their dog, and their cat, and their hamster that they found at Alice Pet Store. And the building is also named Alice.
What were we talking about?
And this has happened hundreds of times, where the AI is generating these names over and over. And then it becomes so clear that these mainstream narratives surrounding these buildings are AI generated. It also shows how these narratives could be completed so fast. And this really wouldn't be that difficult to produce in such a short time frame. You just throw in the parameters that they want covered in the narrative, and the ChatGPT can do it in 2 seconds. We all know here that the ChatGPT didn't just come out. It's not brand new. We know this. It's been here before for a very long time, and the hidden group has had it.
We are in the land of forgetfulness. We have forgotten our true nature, and 24/7 we're being encouraged to forget and to remain in a state of self-identity amnesia.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, dear citizens of America. We here at NASA have been lying to you all since the 60s about our projects, operations, and missions into outer space. We have never been higher than lower Earth orbit.
Okay, look, everybody stop.
Right now, we only can fly in Earth orbit. That's the farthest that we can go.
Every image we have shown you is CGI. Our films are mostly done in an underwater buoyancy facility. We have funneled millions of dollars per day to show you cartoons and false illusions, and we are truly very sorry. We will repay all taxpayers back the trillions of dollars we have stolen. This will be divided evenly between the citizens of America, as well as rebuilding poverty-stricken towns and cities all across America, as this department has finally come to an end.
Every time we blindly follow an idol or leader, we participate in an invisible ritual designed to distance us from our essence.
What does it all mean? Am I just grasping at straws? Wait, straws. That's it. Straws are used to drink soda or water, and plants need water.
Even our daily activities have been shaped to channel our sacrifices toward a system that does not directly benefit us, but instead feeds the elites controlling the domo.
Ah, dude.
Modern sacrifice is an invisible ritual. It manifests in long hours dedicated to pursuing fabricated ideals.
Look, if I'm gonna die ignorant and happy.
You've been trying to hide the truth from them all this time. You thought you were just passing your time when you were binge watching Netflix. You didn't know that you were being deliberately distracted, deliberately diverted. Your attention was deliberately being redirected so that you wouldn't realize that crimes were being committed. They filled your life with ugliness so that you would use whatever free moment you had to just passively and vicariously stare at the vapid beauty of celebrities. Oh, they've been drugging you. They've been sedating you for years now, for decades. And all this time, they've been making you the unknowing accomplice to their inhuman oppression and brutality. You're supposed to direct all of your outrage and all of your anger and all of your grievances and all of your opposition at the decoys, at the effigies, at the fake representatives of power. the expendable puppet politicians dangled in front of you by the real private sector ruling class.
And it's weird, because you have pyramids all over the place. They're everywhere. Maybe not as big as the monks' pyramid, but there were a lot of them that have been destroyed in the last 100 years. This one is actually still here, which is exactly how our construction works today. It just lasts forever. Oh, it doesn't? No, it doesn't. And it's so weird just looking at these pictures. They look so out of place. And they look out of place because they are. And we know this here. But you look at the ground, and it looks so fresh, like brand new topsoil that you buy from Home Depot. Like the grounds crew just got done raking it and getting it ready to be shown off to the public. It's honestly so weird. And what are these people doing? They don't even look real. Where are they walking to? They all look dressed up and just taking a stroll. My opinion is that those are Photoshop people. We have seen this kind of thing so many times, where they don't show any faces, and the people don't fit in with the picture. Exactly how the building, or in this case pyramid, doesn't fit in our timeline. If you have used ChatGPT, you will fully understand how simple this would be to create a false narrative using AI. And if we are allowed to use ChatGPT, what kind of AI do you think they have? Even languages are very interesting. Were all these languages developed all over the world to keep us from being able to share valuable information with each other and to free ourselves from the insane controlled system? In my opinion, I think that's clear and obvious at this point. And it seems like once we become bored or uninterested in the item, they release the next item of technology that the past civilization already had. This group of people have much more to release, to profit off of, and to use to control the masses and manipulate the minds. We have talked about books in the past and how it is important to have them. If this trend continues for another 100 years, where people use books less and less, at a certain point there will not be any books. If our information is wiped from the computers, what will be left? The answer is nothing. Nothing will be left. And this is how history can easily be rewritten, to trick the next civilization into thinking that they are the first ones.
I'm looking going, what the hell happened? Man.
How have we been so naive for so long? Why are we just waking up to the nonsense as a whole? We are fully investigating the historical nonsense that we have been force-fed. Was Columbus even real? I'm leaning towards no. And the fact that we argue whether he was a good guy or a bad guy is exactly what they want us to do. Once you pick either good or bad, it is actually an acknowledgement that he was real, and you are accepting their nonsense. 1492, nobody named Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Not in the Pinta, not the Nina, or the Santa Maria. He didn't trick Indians, none of this happened. These are all mind control tactics that are implemented at a very young age. And songs work the best. In my personal opinion, the fact that everything has been given back to us in the last 300 years systematically proves that there is a group of individuals that are controlling this and giving misinformation about the historical narrative. It's not mathematically possible for there to be no electricity for thousands of years. And out of nowhere, we have all of this technology. And the same goes for the possibility that every house in your neighborhood has been burned to the ground.
I'm hitting the reset button. You hear me? I'm hitting the reset button.
That's impossible. Yet nearly every old world building holds a fire story in its narrative. And every major city has had a great fire. And are these fires great? Not for us, but I think for them. To destroy all of the past civilization's things. All happening within the last 200 to 300 years. But why lie about the history? Well, why not?
That they're capable of pulling something off like that. Like the fact, think the scale, the magnitude of planning it would take to put something like that together and make it believable.
You get to hold on to all the power over all the people. You've done it all before. You know how the system works. You've got all the kinks out in the past civilization. Now you get to control the banking system, all technology, the governments, what the people watch, what the people listen to. You control what is acceptable in society. You control what is not acceptable in society. And what is thought of as crazy. Why wouldn't they reset the system? and control it all for their advantage, releasing old world tech to their advantage when there was already free energy. Some people have asked, why would they lie about all of this? When all people should be asking, why wouldn't they lie? Wouldn't they lie? Wouldn't they lie? Wouldn't they lie?
All right, Eggman, I'm gonna stop your evil plans. Wow, this music's pretty dope. Yeah, hey, yeah.
Yo, Sonic, what are you still doing at the beginning of the zone?
Yeah, we battling or what?
Shut up, Eggman, this is the best part.
Way back in Marble Garden, we were shown a decaying temple well in the process of being reclaimed by nature, and throughout the whole level, over and over again, we were shown the absolute lack of sanctity that Robotnik had for this place.
Collapsing structures and causing earthquakes, and all because he was searching for something in the ruins.
Back-to-back catastrophic hurricanes can't tell me that they didn't have a hand in that.
Controlling the weather. We've been doing that since Vietnam War that I know of. Hell, what's new?
The Democrats are controlling the weather?
The government.
We're here in Santa Barbara County, home to one of the longest-running cloud seeding operations in the country. We've got some ground-based cloud seeding equipment right here, and we're going to get to hear all about how it works and see it in action. Cloud seeding is the most common type of weather modification, and it has many different techniques and applications.
As I've never understood, Robotnik has bunkered himself in a hidey hole and is broadcasting some kind of weather-changing satellite signal. Robotnik's goal throughout his time on the floating island is to locate and excavate the Master Emerald.
Story goes our world's a whole lot bigger than we've been led to believe, buddy. That we are allegedly surrounded by this massive ice wall. Somewhere far outside of this ice wall, there is a place called the Ancestral Lands. This is where the Vanderleys were from. Amidst one of their expeditions, they discovered a massive wall made of ice in the middle of the ocean. Eventually, they found passages in the ice wall big enough for their ship to get inside. And the weeks that followed marked the discovery of 7 different continental landmasses. Each family claimed one. And so our world was born. They devised a plan to populate each continent with their own people from the ancestral lands, but only embryos. So they, or we would have no knowledge of our origins.
They reached a great development in the modification of the climate, and it is common that they create great walls of ice around the colonized lands. This they began to use in the last times, since before they had not reached this development. The walls served them as a great shield to be able to protect or enclose even more the colonized races. In this way, it is very difficult for them to escape, even when they have to leave some worlds by necessity to go in search of another.
After Sonic accidentally drops his pouch of rings, he pulls up his map of safe worlds that he can move to if needed, with the map being full of classic Sonic the Hedgehog Easter eggs. The centermost image of an island is of course Sonic's homeworld of Mobius Island. Then at the very top, we can see the logo for the Sega Saturn console next to an image of a weird looking sun, with that sun having appeared in early concept art for the first Sonic video game. Then next to that, we can see the checkered design of the Blue Sphere bonus stage world from the original Sonic games. Not very far from a big-ass Chaos Emerald on the bottom right of the page. Then to the very left of Mobius Island, we have the Mushroom World that Sonic is dreading to have to migrate to. And some of the items on Sonic's list include making a crank call, sailing the high seas, starting a bar fight, running along the Great Wall. However, due to Robotnik unlocking the raw power in Sonic's quill, he's able to access Sonic levels of speed, triggering the same race across San Francisco that we saw at the very beginning of the movie. And during this chase, Sonic sees a bus advertising a visit to Paris, which prompts Sonic to do exactly that with one of his rings. And this is of course before Sonic would then teleport himself to the Great Wall of China to scratch another item off of his bucket list before then teleporting to the Pyramids of Egypt. And in order to protect Sonic from these attackers, Longclaw gives Sonic her collection of magic golden rings that allow Sonic to travel to different worlds in the universe.
Magic golden rings that allow Sonic to travel to different worlds in the universe.
We really don't know. What was knocked down before we were born? How long have they been knocking down buildings? 200 years? 300 years? We know, and we have documented many times, that they are still destroying these buildings today. And that's not including the entire cleanup project, from the fire bombs going off in 1871, all over downtown Chicago. But in the 1800s, there was no way to communicate this to thousands and millions of people, to let everybody know that this is happening in their town, and so that everyone could share that it was also happening in their town at the exact same time. They didn't have internet. I believe this was all taken away before 1776 and slowly given back to us. From that point on, the only news that anyone had that was being shared with the population was all controlled. And it seems like our ancestors from the 1800s were all just under their spell, and nobody could see what was going on around them and what the controllers were doing.
Hey everybody, Sonic and Tails here, and welcome to another episode of Sonic Reacts. And today we're reacting to Sonic 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Why do you have to call every sequel Electric Boogaloo?
I don't know. Why do I have to suck on the ice cubes in your drink and spit them back into the glass?
Shouldn't you be working on Sonic Goes to College?
Spring break!
It's not an answer.
Make trailer go now. Nebraska.
So much corn to husk.
Quick stretch, little snack.
Chili dog.
This shouldn't inflate your ego at all.
Classic me, saving armored trucks.
You blew up an ATM yesterday.
That was for charity.
Ooh, what'd I miss? I thought I heard a hot dog on screen somewhere.
Yeah, you just killed the turtles.
You're still just a kid.
Still just a kid? You're a fucking boomer.
Hey, I'm 30. That makes me like a MILF or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's one of my space suppositories.
I like a good rocket booster on my suppositories.
You know, Carrie was supposed to shadow me for 8 months to get inside my brain.
How'd that go?
He walked in when I was taking a dump in the sink and I never heard from him again.
Lightweight. Oh shit! Infinity Stones!
I call Thanos!
I call Mantis.
What? Okay. Oh, fuck yeah! The real star of the show!
Hope I'm not too late.
Nice voice, Small Wonder.
They made me into a little kid? This is worse than not being in the movie.
So, is Tails like my ward in this? Am I your dad?
This is a nightmare.
You guys watching the Sonic 2 Electric Boogaloo trailer?
Yeah, Tails plays my daughter.
Yeah, I can see that. I heard they got some cool actor to play me in this. Paul Giamatti. Marty Wolf from Big Fat Liar? I hope he says my famous catchphrase.
Don't.
You don't crack Knuckles. Knuckles cracks you.
That's actually not terrible.
Don't encourage him.
It's your big moment, Knuckles. Don't fuck it up.
Oh shit, here we go.
Do I look like I need your power?
Is that what my voice sounds like in real life?
Not even close.
Yeah, huh? Listen. Fry it and buy it. This is my fry it and buy it voice now.
It's a nightmare.
You the fry,
You need to change these locks.
Knuckles. Knuckles cracks you. Welcome to burger time. How could I take your order?
All right, Eggman. I'm gonna stop your evil plans. Wow. This music's pretty dope. Yeah. Hey, yeah.
Yo, Sonic, what are you still doing at the beginning of the zone?
Yeah, we battling or what?
Shut up, Eggman. This is the best part.
Oh, you like the music? Michael Jackson was involved, but for legal reasons, I can't really get into it. Anyways, do you want to fight or whatever? Or
Forget all that. Flying Battery Zone, Metropolis Zone, Chemical Plant Zone. These sick beats are what it's all about, not battling over some shiny gems.
But Sonic, what about fighting for freedom?
Tails, I'm sick of freeing the Green Hill Zone, aren't you? How do they keep getting conquered so easily? Wouldn't you rather just dance to these dope tracks?
Well, these beats are pretty sick.
You said it, Fox Guy. Let's make some music.
I'm gonna go do a line of rings in the bathroom. You want in?
Hell yeah! Green Hill Zone!
I know I'm not on the list. Just please let me in. Are they playing Slipknot in there? Come on, man. I'm a huge Slipknotaholic.
Ha! You'll never defeat me, Sonic. Hey, those are mine. Timesies, I call timesies. Wow, you are definitely not supposed to eat those.